Hi there and welcome. This is the very first Music in Widescreen video blog interview. Tonight, or this morning rather, 5 in the morning Central Standard Time, I was lucky enough to interview Mark Trueack from Unitopia, one of our favorite bands. He was kind enough to spend it 1 hour with me, and I have about 25 minutes here of video and audio for you. Mark is in a very prolific time right now. 4 albums are on the way. Many fundraisers in his past and ongoing, and so it was a great interview opportunity, and we want to thank him so much for spending his Sunday night with us. So let's get on to the interview, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. We had some technical problems. We lost some video for a while, but I replaced it with call-outs, and so I think it went okay, despite the technical glitches. So please enjoy and spread the word of Unitopia. Thank you. You know, we were thinking about going to either Summer's End or Night of the Prog, I believe it was, in Germany.
Yeah.
And well, we picked Summer's End because you were going to be at Summer's End, and you were. I don't think you were at the Night of the Prog, so.
No, but we're trying to push for that next year.
Oh.
And also doing the Crescendo next year. We've been asked to do the Crescendo Festival, which is in France. It's along the Normandy beach.
Oh, okay. Super. Well,
and apparently it attracts a very big crowd. They attract around about 2,500 people over 2 days there. So it's quite a big turnout. So,
anyway, so I've been trying to do some research here and before the interview and get prepared here. And, you know, I have the discs in front of me and other things. But what I learned is that, you know, when I usually talk to somebody that's been in the business for as long as you, there's usually a whole list of bands that they've been with in the past, but you actually got into Prog via Australian rules football, I heard, actually. Or you've had some. Well, I was supposed to ask you about your football career, actually, is what I meant by that.
Well, Australian rules football was actually and it still is my passion. I actually watched my team win today.
Yeah.
But my football, just a little bit of background on the sport. Basically, I was born in England,
right?
And I remember playing the round ball, soccer, or as they call it, football over there,
right?
And I remember really enjoying playing the round ball game. But when we moved to Australia, I started going ice skating, and I was really enjoying ice hockey.
Oh.
And while I was trying out for the ice hockey team in the under-14s, a guy from one of the major leagues, South Adelaide Football Club, was able to identify that I was 6'6" and a big fella would be a good footballer. So I was playing sort of junior football as at school as well during my young years, but you know, I really wasn't taking it really serious.
Right.
And then I started to as soon as I went to South Adelaide,
right,
realising that there was a huge opportunity to really take the game by the scruff of the neck. And I did, and I really had a pretty good career. I played with a lot of football clubs around Australia. I was one of those guys that couldn't stick to one football club. I just enjoyed travelling. I surfed a lot. So I went from one small little town to another, and, you know, it's amazing. You walk into a town and they all know you're there. They go, "Oh, you must have played football in your time. You better come and play with us," you know.
Right.
So it was certainly one of those things that having height was a huge attribute in Australian football.
Right.
And, you know, I played for I played for a little over 400 games.
Wow.
So I played a lot of football.
Tough on the back, I assume, right?
Well, what did you say? Something about my back?
It's gotta be tough on the body and everything, right? All that football.
It was. The real only serious injuries that I had with football was being smashed in the nose.
Oh, okay.
A lot of times. I broke my nose maybe 4 or 5 times.
Oh, okay.
And I decided I gave up after getting them fixed all those times, so it's still broken as we speak.
Oh, jeez.
Probably gives the tone in the voice a much stronger register. But so yeah, the football and volleyball was another big passion of mine. I played junior state volleyball and really enjoyed that, and took that to another level. I played a bit of basketball as well, and but surfing was probably my real second sport. And as soon as I retired from football, surfing was what I wanted to do all the time.
Excellent. Well, let's talk a little bit about the music now. I just got an email about 12 hours ago about a lineup change here. We've got Daniel entering the fray here. Is that correct?
Well, Ian will probably be our sax player on the European tour. Mm-hmm. Because we've become good friends, and in fact, Ian's laying down some tracks for my solo project, and also and when I say my solo project, I mean that not as in my solo album. Mm-hmm. It's a solo project which incorporates the productions of both Stephen Layton and Sean Timms,
right,
and myself. But it's a concept that I've come up with, and it's really different. But I'll come back to that later. But
okay.
And doing that, and also the covered mirror, we have some sax that's required. So we're going to mix it up a bit. We're going to have some of Ian's sax playing on it, and some of Dan. Now, Dan, we discovered here in Adelaide only a few months back. In fact, we tried for a couple of players because we still needed to have a sax player here in Australia so that we could do our tour, which we're about to do in September. And Dan plays all the wind instruments. Yes, in September we start the 23rd, and we go through October the 1st. Playing 3 starts, playing Adelaide, Melbourne and Sydney, and then next year we'll probably do Perth, Hobart and Brisbane. And then we'll hopefully be ready to go for the next leg of the tour overseas.
Excellent. And there is a lot of hope that you would play Rozfest. Is that something that might happen in the future? There was a little bit of problem last time, but
yeah, we do want to play the Rozfest, and I think George knows that we want to play. The biggest issue that we have this time around is that there are a lot of festivals going on over in Europe, and it's about raising enough money to do so. Now, it's very interesting. We had an email from Hungary yesterday from a very big fan base over there. They played that for 2.5 days.
Saying that there's a lot of concerts out there. They're drawing very well in Europe, is what you were saying?
Well, we're up for doing the US.
Yeah.
One of the toughest things with the US is that they've got very strange, I suppose, visa laws.
Right.
And we would have to coordinate the visa situation ourselves to go over there. But we would need a good series of shows to do. Now,
right.
We've got a lot of people that follow us in America, but, like Patsy is trying to do, Patsy is trying to recruit people that really want to put their hearts and souls in behind the band so we become bigger, so that we can actually employ people and actually pay them. That would be the ultimate thing. It's a very tough thing. And, I'm not getting any younger. I mean, I'm 56 this year. I'm the elder statesman in the music between Sean and I. And,
right.
there's a lot of music in me. And I think, as I was explaining to Patsy on Friday, that the toughest thing from my point of view is that it's the touring and the costing factors of how you can get return for dollar.
Right. Well, it's definitely a labor of love, at least at first, and even for us that travel around the world to see bands like you, it seems like it's difficult to make it kind of change the dynamic sometimes and get it going where you can actually travel around. But we're certainly hoping to see you out here at some point.
Yeah, well, we want to come. Don't worry about that. If we could find enough gigs that will pay its way,
right?
And if we had a lot of people coming to watch, then there's no hassle.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're going to get paid $2,000 US dollars, and the US dollar versus the Aussie dollar at the moment is that we're pretty dominant over you.
It's very close, I noticed.
If you get paid $2,000 over there, it's not a lot of money to just do one show in the US.
Right.
Whereas when you're in Europe, you can travel and do a lot of festivals and do a lot of venues, and you can make some money. And it's not about making money for a pocket. It's more about making money enough so that we're actually paying our way and enjoying it, enjoying a holiday, and able to bring the music to the fan base. Because we love making music. That's what we love doing.
Right.